Everyone is you pushed out. What does that mean? Welcome to the manifesting playlist. So everyone is you pushed out is a term that was formed by Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard was a mystic that unfortunately already passed away, and he was teaching many people about things that scientists now are catching up and proving what he was already taught decades ago. So everyone is you pushed out has to do with the theory that actually scientists are proving now of a multiverse. Neville Goddard, of course, is not using the exact terms of multiverse and timelines, but he already knew that everything is basically an illusion, and that the life we're living, it's more like a program, and the life we're living, it's more like a projection, or you could say a holograph, and you create everything around you. So you could say you have like your own universe, your own quantum bubble, to explain it maybe a little bit easier. And in this quantum bubble, you get to choose what you want to experience. For example, let's say you had a dream last night and anything could have happened. Let's say you had a fight with your best friend in that dream. Would you then think, oh my God, I'm so mad at her? Would you call your best friend the next day and say, what the hell? Why were you yelling at me in my dream? No, you know it's not her. You know that you created this. Maybe there was some kind of subconscious fears attached. At the same time, you may have created a very beautiful meeting with your best friend. And also, when you dream something, who created it? You are aware that your dreams are part of your subconscious. Some dreams, of course, can be your higher self giving you things, or maybe you have met a person you love in your dreams, then that could be a meeting on the higher realms. Absolutely possible, but who creates your dreams? It's you. And what you call real life is nothing more than another dream. To explain it a little bit better, I may want to suggest to watch the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio. This one is explaining it a little bit more about how we live basically in a dream, and this is a dream. So this is like a dream, it just feels more real. But your soul created having a physical body. Your soul created clothes and feeling them on your body. Your soul created having the experience of smelling flowers, of feeling sunshine, of having orgasms, of tasting amazing things, of arguing, of fighting, of loving, of everything you can see and experience around you. All of this was created by a higher part of yourself. Just like you already know, like when you dream and you have an experience, it was created by you, and this was created by a higher part of you. And in the simulation, it does feel, everything feels really real. Maybe you have heard of lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is a technique where you learn to influence your dreams. So instead of just being helpless and just experiencing something, you can learn to actually become an agent in those dreams and choose on how you want to act in that situation. So you could say what you're experiencing now is a bit like a lucid, actually not a bit, it is very much like a lucid dream, where you can change your situation in the way you want to. Which means everyone is you pushed out is that you created everyone around you. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this because I think this is more like a theory concept. It's not entirely true, but it is very much true to explain this. There is definitely truth to this. But let's just assume you have your own quantum bubble and you get to play in here. The higher part of you created like a sim game. Sims, what is it called? Sims? Like you have this world and then you get to choose on how you build. Imagine before you were born, it was like a Sims game and you got to create your world. You chose your parents because you knew, okay, this specific experience I can make will form my character in that way, and it will open up those doors for me and maybe shut some other doors. And you created this like a computer program. Okay, you installed the software, you chose, do I want to be a MacBook or do I want to be a PC, and then you installed certain programs and that run, and it does feel very much real to you. And it's also very much like the film Matrix, if you have watched it. I'm right now I have in my head that Neo is in the Matrix, which means he is in the simulation and he sees the woman with the red dress. It's a program that was not programmed by him, there was a programmer, but you could see in this metaphor it would be your higher self that is programming specific experiences you have. The programming is not completely finished. At one point, Neville Goddard says creation is finished. Yes, everything, there is no time, you only experience it, but at the same time, you get to finish that. And that's a bit of a paradox. I'm going to explain that in a moment, which means when you meet a person and you interact with them, you created them to be that way. You created that character, that avatar, and you can create them to treat you good or not so good. And how do you create them? Well, it's your subconscious belief. If you created a simulation where, for example, you wanted to achieve spiritual awakening, you most likely would have created a childhood simulation where you were not treated too well often, not always, but very often, because when you want to get to the highest highs, you have to go to the lowest lows, because we need to have contrast in order to decipher what do we want to experience, what don't we want to experience. So we are confronted with things that we don't want to experience to realize that this is not what I want to do something else. So it can be like a trampoline that you go down and then you can get higher. And then when you have this program, like, okay, I'm not being loved by my parents, you have this inner belief of not being loved, and then you will attract people, because everyone is you pushed out, who mirror that aspect, that belief back to you. Which means once you change that inner belief about yourself and about your simulation, then you will manifest a different outcome. If you work on your self-concept until, let's say, so this person treated you bad because of your own self-concept. I'm not worthy of being treated well. And then you also have a limiting belief about, yeah, that person is not, they're a narcissist, they're not able to treat people well. Then this will play out again and again and again. And if you break the cycle with that person, but you haven't healed your stuff, then you would attract the next person with the same pattern. So what you need to do is you change your belief about the specific person, and you change your belief about yourself. And you can do that, for example, with affirmations like, I am worthy of being treated lovely, and I only attract people who treat me well. And this means that you change the program and you change the avatar, the other person, and they will have to conform and treat you in a different way. What I think is really happening is not exactly what I just explained. What I think is happening, because Neville Goddard said creation is finished, that there's different timelines happening simultaneously. It's like this computer game where you get to walk in this world and you get to choose whether you want to go to way 8 or number B or number C or number D, and all of these possibilities have been programmed, and so you can choose going number A, way A or B or C or D. And when you change your self-concept, you get the best way, you get led to the best way for you. So you change to the timeline where you get to experience what you choose to experience. But first, again, you have to deprogram all limiting beliefs. So everyone is you pushed out means that when you go way A, person may be this way, and in way B, you worked a little bit on your self-concept and your concept. They're a little bit different, but over here, that's the best way. You have healed your self-concept and you have healed your concept about the person, and here they're treating you like a queen or a king. What really happens is that in the simulation, it will seem like they are changing because they didn't show you that you're amazing, and all of a sudden they're starting to show you that you are amazing. But what really happened is that you chose another path, and in this timeline it has always been that they thought you were amazing. In this timeline not. But if you don't know that you're amazing, then you're confronted with this timeline. Because everyone is you pushed out, they show you where you stand in your own progress, you could say, and your old self-image. And once your self-image is good, then you switch to this timeline that already has been programmed, that already has been. It's not being newly created by you. It already has been created by a higher part, and it's all of the possibilities happen simultaneously. Which means that as soon as you change your inner beliefs about anything, you change the experience you have. And that is what means everybody is you pushed out, because everybody is just a part of yourself, a mirror. And once you change something on the inside, it will change on the outside. And you get to this timeline where it is matched what you already believe. You know, for years it made me crazy basically when I wanted to learn about are we determined, because I heard physicists say time doesn't exist, we just experience it, which would hint that everything is strictly determined. Or do we have free will? And only when I learned about the multiverse, it was like, oh my god, it is both. Everything is determined because in each timeline it's already been written in a specific way. But we still have free will because we can't choose which experience we want to make. So like the computer game, it's already programmed, it's done, the entire thing is done. And when you go way A, it is already programmed that thing A will happen, or number 5 will happen. And if you go that way, number 3 will happen, possibility number 3. So you get to choose. It's already been programmed, but you decide to get the best outcome by working on your self-concept. So there is free will by choosing the experience, but at the same time it is determined because everything already has been programmed. But there's not 5 timelines, there's unlimited timelines. So everything you can imagine has been programmed in that game. And it's your job to get clear on what you want, to find limiting beliefs, to clear those, and then send the signal to the universe, this is the one I want to experience, and then this is the experience you will get. It's a bit confusing, I hope it helped. Another image I get is like a radio or TV. In all of these channels there's different movies or songs, and they already have been created, they're done. But you get to tune in. Do I want to watch the horror movies? Haven't done your shadow work. Do I want to watch the rom-com with the sad outcome? Do I want to watch the rom-com with the happy ending? They all happen simultaneously. Do I want to watch the crime movie? And you decide which one of these movies that are already done and broadcasted at the same time do I want today? Where do I tune in? And it's the same like this. It already either treats you well, treats the character well or not. If you have more questions, I know this is a bit much and hard to understand, please post them below, because then I will make more videos on that. If it helped, please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If it did help you a lot and you want to leave a tip, my PayPal is below. My contact information for personal coaching is below, and check out my other content. I wish you all the best. Bye bye.